Hey, we're Kurt and Danette Share with the Broken for Better podcast.
Yeah, and together we're on a mission to equip and empower marriages. We want to strengthen families for everyday life.
Enjoy the episode.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here again, ready to roll. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are
excited?
you? I'm reading over the questions. You caught me.
All right. Oh, she hasn't prepped for this
reading.
one.
I'm prepped. I'm just
You're
reading.
always it's our life.
I know.
Welcome back. We're excited. We're going to continue our parenting sessions that we've been doing. This has been a extremely fun season of podcasts. As we talked about fatherhood, then we talked about helping your kids dream. We talked about intimacy while having kids, intimacy with kids. Oh,
After you have children.
after you have children, maintaining intimacy. And
That was
today,
so awkward.
yeah, I was like, in my head, I was like, that's not what we said. And today, I get to talk about something. We get to talk about something that is extremely fun to me. And it's because it was such a passion of yours. And so I fired you off a couple questions, but let's just cold turkey it. Like, don't even,
Okay.
you might have read over them now, but,
I did.
and it's going to be making memories on any budget. Yeah. I feel like this is one that we've had seasons of plenty and we've had seasons without.
Yeah.
And no matter what those seasons were, you forced an issue and you continued to push and drive in a certain way, and memories were made in all seasons. And so I feel like this is good because I feel like a lot of parents can glean from today. I think this would be really one that's beneficial for you and your family, and one that will really help you and catapult you into a different season of life. So, can we talk about memories?
Yes, let's do it.
Tell me,
Let's do it.
first off, just tell me why it was so big to you.
Oh, I think growing up, we did a lot of travel, a lot of different things. But we did a lot of the same things, right? Like we would go to the same place. We would go to have the same vacation, the same hiking trip. And I just, at a very young age, I went on my first mission trip when I was 14 years old. I started seeing a little bit more of the world, and I really wanted our kids to have a glimpse of different things. There's just such a huge world. And so for me, doing the same memory over and over again, or the same trip or the same amusement park or the same, whatever, I just wanted to spur on different things, and I wanted them to be able to have different experiences. And in different seasons of our life, we were able to do some things really, really cool. And then, other times we would do things that were really unique and different, but it was all about making memories for sure.
So, what I heard and all of that
Yes,
was
tell me
great.
what you heard.
What I heard was, I like to make new experiences.
I do.
I've already done tons of hiking.
No,
so we
no,
don't
no,
need
no,
any
sir.
more hiking.
We have so many things we have not
Oh,
hiked.
you want to hike new
New
places?
trails.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
So it's not the hiking; it's the
It's
new
not the
hikes.
hiking. That's
Okay,
right.
great,
That's right.
great.
Yeah.
I did live up to my 2024 commitment, though. I said I would go on a hike, and
You
we
did.
did go on a hike together.
We did. We did in Arkansas.
So
Good job.
tell me something growing up you did as a kid that made a lasting memory that didn't cost an arm and a leg, like that was nearly free, or just, but something you remember and it's made one of those core memories.
Oh, I wouldn't. Okay, I know this wasn't free. My parents did have to but I remember it being for a family trip. We went on a 2 or 3 week. It might have been. I think it was 3 weeks out west. And I remember.
Girl, I said something free.
Okay,
You
but
didn't go on a 3 week out west trip and that'd be free.
listen, but I'm telling you, I remember my parents telling me it only cost them a few $100s, which for a 3 week trip, and my parents were very creative in how we went. And so it was mainly gas that cost us. And so everything else was different parks and different scenery and all of these different things that we got to experience as a family. And it was as this life changing trip, going and seeing the Grand Canyon and again, that was like a glimpse of the world that I had no idea. I knew it existed, but it just didn't feel real until you got there and you got to see it. And it was just like awe inspiring. And yet my parents, I knew, were on a very, very limited budget. and yet they wanted to allow us to see something huge together.
Mhm.
And it was actually my brother's, I was 7 years I am 7 years younger than him, but it was his senior trip was before his senior year, and we did that as a family, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do that with our own boys, and we did, which that was really amazing memories. But yeah, just I
Super
think that
cool.
was one. Yeah.
I think one of my it definitely was not free,
Okay.
but one of my memories of, like, growing up that was a very core memory of mine was, my family went to this place called Deep Creek in North Carolina.
Oh,
Well, you've
yeah.
been there.
I've been there multiple times, yeah.
Right? We coulda actually tubed and
At the
not
same
realized we were tubing.
time. What if? What if?
What if?
Who knows?
Um, but I remember going to Deep Creek and just getting these tubes and going down these slippery rocks and the water and climbing the mountains and doing that. And it's like it's one of those times we
Mhm.
stayed in like a tent,
Yep.
and I can't stand tents, but we stayed in a tent and built the fires and did the things. And my mom was I mean, she's phenomenal at making an experience.
Mhm.
Like, she's
Yes.
gonna make something, and it's gonna be and that's always been just an amazing trait of hers.
Absolutely.
And so I'll never forget we did it a couple times actually, I think, and truly, truly one of those things that I won't forget. But what's
Yeah.
not free neither one of us answered the question. A free memory.
Oh, free
Something free.
a totally
What we're doing is
free
we're reinforcing that you can't make memories unless you have money.
Okay, I think free is hard, but I think we definitely did things very, very tight on a tight, tight,
Yeah.
tight budget. I mean, because even dinner costs something, right? I mean, even if you're making a meal at home, but you can be creative with even the things that you do in your home. There was a season for us when we were in ministry out in Louisiana, and I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I think we had gotten so upside down with what our priorities were, and I felt like our family was taking the back seat. And you were so kind and gracious to hear my heart and not push back on it and said, "Okay, what do you wanna do?" And I think that's the one thing. I think often couples, there's one that might be more of the dreamer, more of the one that wants to make experiences, and maybe the other one isn't. So what we do is we'll wait until maybe we're both on the same page instead of saying, "Hey, I really wanna take this on. Will you come alongside and let me dream?" And you were so good and so open to say, "Yeah, babe, we'll do it. Just tell me what you wanna do." And, that allowed me to get super creative and fun. And in that season, we had Monday nights was our night, and we would do themed dinners. We had very, very little. We didn't have a lot of time, but we would do these big nights, and that looked like a trip to the dollar store and a creative meal. It could be, we did an upside down night where we flipped the table upside down. It was literally the same dinner we would have any other night. It was like spaghetti and a salad and a sundae, but everything was upside down, and we ate dessert first, and then we did our spaghetti, and the sauce was on the bottom, and our we had to wear all of our clothes backwards.
Which how do we know that's not right on spaghetti?
Yeah, who
How do you
says
know
the
the
sauce
sauce
has to be
isn't
on
on the
top?
bottom?
And why can't we eat dessert first? Like, it
Why?
was it was just something so simple, but then we would we did these fun things, and so I got on the internet and I started looking up other themed dinner nights, and so we had a night of the round table, and basically I got a chicken from, like, not Publix, we didn't have Publix out there, but a chicken that we got to tear
Oh, it
off.
was no
No
utensils.
utensils,
That's
we ate with our
right.
fingers, and we covered all of our food with tinfoil, so it looked not food, our plates and our so we looked like we were drinking out of goblets,
Goblets.
and the boys had to
Oh my
put sheets
goodness.
around themselves like they were in Greece.
We
But it
all came in togas. That's
yeah, it
exactly right.
cost us nothing
Which
extra.
you looked great in that, by the way.
Thanks. Toga, toga. I'm kidding. But it cost nothing extra. It literally was it cost time
Yeah.
to be creative.
It's taking what you had and making it a memory.
Yes, in that year, like, our family had these one time a week, we had these fun moments where we had nothing that was pressing. We didn't talk about things that weren't going our way. We didn't talk about discouraging things or things we were sad about. We literally focused on breathing hope and joy, and it was so, so, so great for my heart. Hopefully, it was great for everybody's, but it was a fun, fun memory. It was a fun memory. Memories.
memories.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when I think about those, I think we live in this, like, this day and age that everything is so fast.
Mhm.
You know, we shop on Amazon, so to be here by 2 o'clock,
What? I
the
love
I
some Amazon.
no, I do it too. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying we live in a right here, right now world.
Mm.
And so when you take this concept of slowing things down to go, wait, how do I make this normal, everyday, what's mundane thing that we do and create it into something that this will be a memory that will mark and mold my children. It takes us stopping
Mm.
and doing the things that maybe we didn't have um exampled to us. We talk about this often. We many times do what we know to do, and that's how we grew up and how we learned. And so, I really would challenge you just to go, man, how do you take a normal thing, even taking holidays? I mean, I remember you made every holiday something like a normal Valentine's Day. Everything was red that we ate. You know what I mean? Or everything was red that we drank. And take a 4th of July and everything's red, white, and blue. And taking Cinco de Mayo and our kids aren't old enough to drink. And so we're slapping each other with tortilla shells and don't touch on my taco and all which was kind of awkward name, by the way. But it's like, it's like just these memories that I remember in the moment, us just laughing and having the greatest time. And
Mm.
it was taking something that would normally be normal or ordinary
Mm.
and making it extraordinary. So, because we live in, like, especially with our boys, because they did everything, right? We've talked about this before. Like, they were so in the go zone of everything. How did that? Not how or what? Maybe how and why did you create that to be so important that that the distractions didn't dictate you doing it or not doing it? Because there's always an excuse, right?
Yeah. I think it's twofold. I think, we've all heard the phrase laughter is the best medicine, and yet we don't laugh very much in our day-to-day life, unless we're watching some funny TikTok or, some we don't laugh a lot. And I wanted our home, and I think you did too. I wanted our home to be filled with laughter. I wanted our home to be somewhere that our boys hopefully longed to be and not felt like they had to be.
Mhm.
And I also wanted to instill in them something that they can take into their future, and memories is one thing that we can that's only one thing that we can take.
Mm.
We can't take a lot, and that's if I'm being honest, that's bittersweet for me now because a lot of those memories, they're now becoming more joy-filled, but the last couple of years, they're hard to look back on because they almost sting because you
Mm.
have someone missing, and so you almost feel, as if you shouldn't continue to do those things. But then when I look back now a couple more years healing and my healing journey with grief, I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally I can't think of anything in the world that I would give to replace that would replace those
Yeah.
memories. Um, and a lot of them didn't cost hardly anything. And yet there's
That's a good
one
thing because we had
we
nothing.
didn't have much. Um, but there's one thing that they could take with them and that hopefully they realize how powerful and how precious that time is with their loved ones moving
Mm.
forward, whether or not we're involved or not.
Yeah.
Right? And that also is, a process of holding loosely because there's ebbs and flows. Like, the things that we did with them as experiences when they were 4 and 5 changed when they were 14 and 15, and also should change when they're 24 and 25 and married and when they're 34 and 35 with children, right? So, we have to hold those things loosely, and every season requires a different response. Every
Mhm.
season is a different season for us to make new memories and change and morph, and so, um, yeah, I don't know if
I
that
love the
answers
way
your
you said
question.
every season requires a different response. I love the way you said that because that is true, whether it be age, work, anything. Something happens, something doesn't happen in your family. Just everything requires a different response. And I think one of the things that has been crazy for me is this is kind of how we operated in our family. But even after a change in our family, um, my mom even began to to change over the last couple of years the way she did something, a
Yeah.
couple things,
Mhm.
and it's been more around the memory, like creating and cultivating memories
Yeah.
and experiences that she's morphed what she used to do into this thing. And even as a 40, almost 49-year-old dude, I've loved it and told my mom, like, man, I wouldn't give up these memories with my brothers and my nieces and nephews and my kids and their wife. Like, there's so much that I've just thanked my mom profusely of going, man, thank you for making it a priority.
Yeah.
Cause she could have stayed dogmatic in what she did too.
Yeah.
And just, hey, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and this is when we do it. But she morphed with the times and the situations and the seasons, and it's become this thing. So you're never too old or it's never too late to say, stop, let me reevaluate. And is there a way that we can make this thing that we do extraordinary?
Yeah.
It's been so cool to watch.
Been and solely because she's been sensitive to the season, right? Sensitive to our season. And so we get that opportunity to be sensitive to our kids' season and saying, okay, what do the children need right now at this point in life? And I remember you talked about like holidays, we would have I called them extravaganzas. We'd have, Valentine's extravaganza and Easter extravaganza, which just means we were going to do something really stupid and really silly and we were gonna probably put on
Everything was an extravaganza.
everything was an
Everything.
extravaganza. The 4th of July extravaganza, the Olympics whatever it was. And we would play stupid games and silly games and laugh until, we couldn't laugh anymore, all those things. But then there was a season when our boys were like, "Well, I don't wanna do Valentine's because I now have a Valentine." And so sitting down with my mom for Valentine dinner just doesn't sound as much as fun. And I'm not gonna lie, at first you're like, "Wait a second, that's like
Aren't
our
I your
thing."
Valentine?
I know, I'm always gonna be your Valentine. And so those are moments that we have to realize, okay, this season is changing, but I can't be bitter. I need to realize how do I encourage my kids to make and so
Mm.
what can we do differently? Can we change it to where it's a different day and we do something fun and maybe we invite the girlfriend. We invite,
You know,
changing.
I'll tag on to that, and it triggered in my mind because I love the way you said that. There came a season where they now had girlfriends and they were doing their own Valentine thing, and so we kinda morphed it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's make it fun. It's energetic. Bring them. Now it's a competition between guys and girls, and it's this wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And I think for many parents that maybe making memories and doing these kind of things hasn't been part of your play. Now you have a 14 or 15-year-old who's just kind of apathetic. He doesn't really, or she doesn't really get into this stuff. And so your thought may be, well, I've lost that opportunity. And what I'll encourage you is to go, no,
Mhm.
listen, you, no one's ever too old to not be a kid again. Like, you can do something. What's the thing that speaks to your child?
Mm.
What's the thing that their heart's really wrapped up, and then make your extravaganza around that. And when you do that 1 or 2 times and they begin to see, wow, this is fun, and wow, mom and dad have made memories around what I love to do. It's not about what they love to do, it's about what I love to do. Our boys love to compete. They love for there to be a winner and they love for there to be a loser. So having games, right?
Yeah.
So somebody could win and somebody could lose. That's what they were about. So that's what we created and cultivated and wrapped that up. But find a way to speak currency into your child,
Mhm.
they'll get on board. Man, I guarantee doesn't matter what teenager it is. You go home and hey, tonight's our special Monday night extravaganza. What's that mean? I don't want to do that. Well, listen, all it means is everything's going to be backwards at dinner time. Bro, we're eating dessert first. So we're doing ice cream sundaes before dinner.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I don't know, maybe these extravaganzas aren't so bad. You know what I mean? Like it's just the abnormal. It's the fun. Create one that's fun. Don't do one that they're gonna hate right off the bat. Well, yeah, that's probably not gonna help your cause, but find a way to really give currency into their
Or
account.
let them choose, like giving options and saying, Tonight's about you. You get to be in the driver's seat. You get to decide what we're going to do for dinner, letting them choose." You were great about speaking into our boys, the things that they were focused on, the things that they were really passionate about. I know specifically all three of our boys, played video games and everything, but I remember there was a season where you were feeling disconnected from Logan and he was really trying to build something video game wise and had asked you to be a part. And I remember having conversation with you behind closed doors. Hopefully it's okay, you're okay with me saying this, where you were like, "I really don't wanna do this, but he wants to do it, and so I've got to be invested because he's so invested."
Yeah.
And that takes sacrificial parenting. That takes a sacrifice on our part, because some of the things that might speak to them or be fun for them, a trip they may wanna go on, an experience they may wanna see, might not be our ideal thing. And what I think I often see is parents try to morph the kids into, "These are the things I wanna do, so you have to come along and do it, and I want you to have fun and enjoy it."
Yeah.
Okay, well, if your child hates going to the beach, maybe planning an entire family vacation at the beach isn't the best thing to do, like,
I
and
think
that's
it's the best thing to do.
that's been a conversation you and I have had, because a couple of our kids are like, "I could, care less about the
To this
beach,"
day,
to this
could
day,
care less about the
because 'cause we're
beach.
surrounded, in Florida by the beach. To them, it's not a big deal. So, what can we do that speaks into what they enjoy and what brings them out? Because that's
Yeah.
the thing we wanna do. We wanna spur on that relationship with them.
I've told guys, like, date your children.
Mhm.
And when you think about how you dated your spouse early on,
Hmm.
most of dating was courting their hearts. So you did the things that they wanted to do because you wanted to win their heart over. That's how you dated your spouse.
Mm.
And so now if you take that same concept into your children, like how do we date our children and date them well? Do the things they want to do. Make the memories, have fun, laugh, like create this environment in your home that just goes, man, we're all about a new experience. As
Hmm.
crazy as that may be, as big as that may be, or as little as that may be. I
Yeah.
mean, and all my sons completely different. I
Mhm.
could date my boys three different ways. My oldest one, hey bro, you get to choose dinner tonight. My man was gonna choose Golden Corral. Like, that's just what he's about. I don't know where he got it from. I'm not eating off a trough with 87 other people, but that's what he was about, right? I tell the other one, "Hey, you get to choose dinner tonight." Bro, he wanted to go somewhere where there was ice cream and cake. Like, he just wanted sweets. That's where we're gonna go.
Right.
I chose my youngest one, "Hey, you get to choose dinner tonight." That brother was going for ribs and shrimp and steak. I mean, he just lived that way, you know what I mean? Like, they all had their different ways, but when I'm dating them, I got to step into that world and go, all right, well, this is what we're doing. Like, I guess we're going here tonight. And man, it just filled their account so much. And when you fill your child's account,
Mm.
your account gets filled too. You reap that
Absolutely.
so much, man. You make the right memories. You do the
Absolutely.
things, you laugh together, you have a good time. You see at the end of the day, man, both of y'all are at your highest point.
I think another thing that for me, and again, this is probably a little tender in my heart, but I didn't want to have regrets. I didn't want to look back on, you know, um, the 18 years, the whatever that you supposedly get before they launch. And I didn't want to look back on that and have regrets. And so um, I'm thankful that even though it probably was more of a passion of mine that you came along and you would
It,
encourage, and
it was
it
probably,
was more of a passion of mine. I don't know that the boys would have had like the same experiences, but I I'm just so thankful that you allowed, like, I would dream big, right? Like, I wanna take our kids on a senior trip, just the 3 of us. I wanna take our kids on a missions trip. I wanna do these things, and I think so often we look back and we have these woulda, shoulda, couldas, and
mm,
we only have one opportunity, and
mm,
that's not to guilt, because I think there's so much mom guilt and dad guilt, "You're not doing enough." It's not that, but it's about, okay, what are the things that I want my child to know that they know when they leave our home? And some of that is how to find joy in life. How do we find joy? And if we're so caught up on the day to day and we're constantly just grinding, and we go to work and then we go to school and we come home and then we do it again tomorrow, and there's no joy, then what are our passions? What are we living for?
yeah.
And I just am thankful that you allowed me to kind of like stir that and allowed me to dream, when it came to the things that were really important.
I remember telling you at one point, dude, I'm glad my sons have you. I don't know if you remember this conversation. I'm glad my sons have you because if they just lived with me, they wouldn't have half of these core memories
Mm.
that they have now because I was a driver of yours. And now it's like, man, I watch them make memories. I watch them do crazy stuff. I watch them, spend time with their partner. I watch all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, it's like they've learned this, and sometimes it flows easy, and sometimes it flows hard. But I'm really glad you pushed that.
I will say that's one thing that has encouraged my heart as a parent of adult kids now is watching them already take trips, like, their first year or 2 of marriage, like, together, like, not just the, staple honeymoon check, but, like, saying, "Oh, we've got desires," even though they might wanna do bigger things because they don't, have all of the resources that they wanna have that most young couples don't, right? But we waited for
Bro, they're
years.
taking trips we never even thought about
I
it that
know, but that's
much.
so encouraging because to me it feels like, man, they got a part of that.
Yeah.
Even if maybe their wife's the one that encourages it, that at least they're like, "Okay, let's do it." Like I that to me has been like I just feel like, "Yay, we got that
Yeah.
right." A little thing like,
We
I
did
hope they
something.
dream.
A high
Yeah.
five. Psh.
Yeah.
Um,
But
listen, you got anything else on that you wanna talk about? I feel like we could go on and on about this, but
yeah, just make it, you don't have to make it doesn't have to be a momentous thing in order to make a big deal out of
yeah.
something. I mean, if the kids get in the car and it's somebody's birthday, throw the birthday party. We used to do that. Um,
And this is what I love too. Everything had this name
you have to
that they
have a
would come
name.
home and tell me, "We had a birthday cardi." I'd be like I just look at my wife and be like, "A what?" "A cardi. We had a cardi." Like, "Okay."
The yeah. I will say
But then I realized the cardi was strung lights in the car and balloons everywhere, like, y'all really had a party up in that thing.
we'd have a party playlist going to school. It's like the whole we had like, what do you call it? What is it called when everybody a carpool. We had a carpool, and so we're like, "You know what it is? It's birthday party time." And we would celebrate, we would have fun, and then, there's traditions that I think we can get so caught up with that have to look a certain way.
Yeah.
There were certain traditions that as they got older, I was like, "Man, why did I start this?" This is like but you have to know the seasons, the ebbs and the flows. We had, and this is the last thing I'll say, I know we're kinda going long, but the birthday fairy. We had a birthday fairy that would come and decorate their room the night that they were about to turn another year older, and when they started wanting to stay up later than I did, and I'm like, "It's
That
2 in the
fairy was getting
morning,"
yeah.
and I'm like, "It's summertime," and our youngest is still up, and the birthday fairy is tired, and why did I start this so many years ago?
That birthday fairy started getting up early mornings.
Yeah, and the voice would be like, "Did the birthday fairy come?" I'm like, "Yes, she did. Look at this mess she made." Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, all we wanna do is encourage your heart. It doesn't matter where you're at on the journey. Man, if you're just getting on the highway or been doing it a long time,
Hmm.
find ways to take ordinary moments and make them extraordinary memories. Listen, we love you guys. We believe the best and want the best for y'all. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, we encourage you check us out on all of our socials at Broken for Better for more ways you can be plugged in.
Yes, and if we can help you or your family with anything like coaching or other resources, please connect with us at brokenforbetter.com.